Welcome to your greatest life. Hello and welcome, my friends. And we are joined live today on Unwinding Stress with Dr. Matt Breske, who is the founder and creator of Centerpoint Meditation, an intuitive modality. He's also, which I like to call him, a human potential awareness advocate, a visionary for a harmonious future with humans, and he's here to discuss and demonstrate to show you how you can take greater control in living your life by processing the stressors. Hi, I'm your host, Dr. Kevin Gyurina, holistic healer, chiropractor, and quantum living advocate. And I study the laws of nature and the art of applying positive transformation for optimal living. Join me each and every Sunday and Monday at 9:30 a.m. as I dive into interviews, demonstrations, and discussions on the art of turning pain into power, problems into profit, to help you navigate your life to live more empowered through introducing you to the products, principles, practices, and professionals that aid you in restoring internal wholeness holistically so you may thrive into a better life. Thank you for joining in. Dr. Matt, welcome. And we have known each other now for the last, 6-7 years.
Yeah.
Though we have connections that go back much farther, and we never knew each other.
Yeah, we have connections back 15 years ago. Yeah. Like, we were kind of in parallel worlds at the same school. But you know how when you're in school, you kind of stick to your own class, and because you're all in the same kind of grind together. But yeah, it's cool that we've reconnected this way, and I'm looking forward to working more with you in the future and everything like that. So I'm super excited about the future, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you having me on the show. And I'm looking forward to being able to share a little bit about what I've been up to.
Well, yeah, so this show is about helping people at home become more empowered to unwind their own stressors in life. And this is when when we ran into each other 5-6 years ago, this is something that you showed us that really was profound for me. It made me cry on the spot, number one, and you gave me a little rub on that, and I appreciated that. But it helped me process something, and everyone that you got to try it on had very similar profound experiences. And I want to know a little bit more about your story, how you became familiar with what to do and how you got here, and essentially what's the benefit of people doing this at home?
Okay, so as you know, and the audience listening, I'm a doctor of chiropractic, and what led me to be a chiropractor is my own personal injury story, having a double herniated disc injury in football in college. And then that eventually evolved into 3 herniated discs in my lower back. So I was in the part of my career as a chiropractor also dealing with my own traumatic injury on my back. And it was one of those things to where orthopedic surgeons were like, this probably needs to be operated on. And I was resistant to that. And I kept going to chiropractic, getting chiropractic sessions on my back and everything. But that would just sort of keep me okay, but I was still dealing with a significant amount of pain on a daily basis. I would come home and I could have sciatica down my leg. It was actually to a point to where I was like, how can I go further with this? And I always was researching what more that I was researching more that there was that I already knew. I knew there was something else that was causing this issue. And then when you start looking back at the history of my life, even from back into my childhood to back to where I'm getting on ADHD medication as a child, and the hypersensitivity that I had in my system was something that I knew was causing my body not to be able to heal, because my body wouldn't get out of the sympathetic stress state, and I couldn't relax my system enough to heal my body. And the more I tried, the harder it became. And well, profoundly, I was working in a practice in Germany, and I'd been going through some weeks I have good weeks, some weeks I have terrible weeks, and during a time I was having a very, very bad week. My colleague I was working with was doing a chiropractic session on me, and he happened to do something that was super, super, you could call it weird, profound, amazing, I guess. There was a suspension of basically time and space that happened during the session. And all the pain I had at that time was completely gone, in complete suspension. And I was like, holy cow, how is that possible? And then after the adjustment, I asked him what he did, and he was completely unaware of what he did. It just happened in the middle of a transitional moment during the session. So then I researched on myself how that worked, and then I reverse engineered it over the next few years, and I was able to reproduce it eventually. And what I knew happened was my body went in sort of a meditative state, and that's why we call it center point meditation. And now I've been able to create an entire program around it, and it is super reproducible and very clear on how it works. And, you know, I just do want to say that I'm not technically this meditation expert by any means. In center point meditation, I am an expert, but in traditional meditative techniques, I wasn't such an expert in that. It was something that where my hyperactivity of my system wasn't able to let me meditate effectively using traditional means. Does that make sense?
Well, so Matt, if you could, excuse me, Dr. Matt, if you could explain a little bit more about the stress, that sympathetic part of the fight or flight part of our lives, the part of our lives that's up and we feel that angst or whatever that may be. And what did you discover, or what did you put together about the human, these different layers of what it is to be a human being, and what Centerpoint is doing?
So when we have stress on our system, we have all forms of stress. We have the physical stress, mental stress, chemical stress. And I was fairly trained in the physical stress aspect and the chemical stress aspect. I understood that, but the mental stress aspect, we never really got a super amount of training in our school about that. All we had was thoughts. That's what they said, mental thoughts. And for me, that was off. That didn't feel right, because there was more to mental stress than just thinking. And what happens is when we get stuck in a state of sympathetic stress, our bodies are unable to heal because it's in a constant state, as if a lion is in the room next to you. So your digestion isn't going to be effective. Your healing can't work because your body is constantly in a state thinking there's a dangerous situation in your surroundings. So the body can't come out of the tension pattern long enough to allow your body to heal. And I would say the noise from thinking too much and or feeling too much is the cause. And what happens when you do a center point meditation, you instantly silence that noise from thinking and feeling.
Well, my experience has, and so for those that are watching, I have experienced this. I've trained with Matt. I understand, because I had that impact, and I wanted to know what happened to me, and I wanted to reproduce that in myself. And so just like Matt, he had paved the way. And there's something about physically orienting the body in the specific way Matt has revealed, that you get this place of peace. If I could say it, it's as simple as that. It's just this moment, and then you can sit there, and in fact, the more you sit there, for much of it, it's just more and more peaceful and deeper relaxation. Can you share more about that?
And from my understanding about meditation and other techniques is that you're actively practicing to use your mind to calm it. So it's an active method to using how your mind is working and functioning to relax your mind and body. So if we get into, let's say, biohacking, this is exactly a biohack for meditation. Because now what we're doing is we're using our physical body and we're moving it in certain positions that create that meditative state and that brings your body into equanimity, which is the so-called Zen state that people practicing meditation are pursuing to achieve.
It sounds like, sorry, Matt, I just want to interject. It sounds like a reverse engineering of the meditation, traditional meditative practice.
Yeah. And I'm not at any point saying this technique is something that can replace other meditative techniques. Mm-hmm. It can be added to it. It can be synergized with any other techniques that people are doing, with whether it being a meditation or breathing techniques, because it's not, by itself it's great, but you can also add it to anything. And when we get into even deeper, when we dive deeper into its effect, you can get into a fractal level of using it to where you can use it therapeutically. And we've created a Centerpoint Therapeutics program that is designed to use the principles of Centerpoint meditation in order to meditate or relax instantaneously all the body parts that you want to address within 10 to 20 seconds. And it creates a profound effect, allowing your body to process things and heal in a very short amount of time, because there is zero noise from thinking and feeling. And yeah, so that's kind of how that is. And what happened with me, where it really became like, okay, I need to write a book about this, I need to share this with people, is when my eventually the pain in my back got so bad I ended up getting drop foot, and I had a paralyzed left leg. I couldn't put any more pressure on it. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to go get this instantly operated on. But I decided to do one little tweak on the technique, and I did 3 15-second meditations, and now I'm like 4 years pain-free from that completely. And my last MRI revealed that one of my herniated discs is now completely normal disc.
Wow, that's profound.
And so, yeah, so it's super cool that that was able to happen. But then I wanted to know why. And when I started getting certain patterns that kept repeating in my clients' systems when I was working with them, I was able to map out how this technique actually works. And how it does work is it is our physical body is made of, let's say, liquids and solids. Would you agree?
Yes. I think very good way.
Yeah. So then we have another aspect of our body, which is the bioentropic field, or the biofield, or the aura, whatever name you want to call it. That is a real thing that exists, proven that our bioenergetic field is around us. And well, because of this, because our bodies hold the energy of thinking and feeling, the field also holds the energy of thinking and feeling. So when you're moving in these positions, what's happening is there's a recalibration effect happening between your left brain and your right brain, and your left body and your right body. That's physically changing the activity inside your body in real time. And then each direction that you move to that causes the relaxation effect gives you an instant mental assessment over what's happening in you right now that's causing you your excess tension.
Well, Matt, go ahead. I think we are in a good space. That was a pretty deep chunk of information. Let's break that down in just a few moments and talk about those different layers of the human body and the left and the right brain hemispheres, how they integrate all these different layers of what it is to be a human being. And then we're going to go into a demonstration on 2 really important things that you can use right now after this. So stay tuned, and we'll be back in just a moment.
We're Dr. Mark and Liz from Marriage Matters, a show that inspires, instills hope, and empowers couples to weather the stresses of married life.
Join us each week to hear how couples, real couples like you, have overcome challenges that were hurting their marriages, as well as getting expert advice on ways to nurture a happy and healthy relationship.
Tune in Fridays at 4:30 p.m. and Thursdays at 9 a.m. on RVN TV.
And welcome back to Unwinding Stress. We are here with Dr. Matt Breske, and we are about to dive into discussing the different layers of the human experience, how we can balance them, and how our mind, because Dr. Matt talked about the thought component of how our life and our physical body are integrated, and this is where this hidden stressors are really built up. And Matt was describing his experience through his traumas and tribulations and the disc issues and the nerve problems with his foot, and somehow he figured out, he put a bunch of things together, and here we have this ability to self-process discomforts and pains and problems to bring about a better life. So Matt, please, if we could go a little bit more deeper into these different layers of the human body and how our left and right brain work together with this field around us.
Yeah. So in the first book I wrote about this stuff, it's called Biofield Interpretation, and that's basically how you interpret your field. And like I said before, that the body is solids and liquids, and then this field, this biofield, is, I want you to visualize it's like a gas, sort of like a steam room around you.
So
like
Matt, what is, just to interrupt, the biofield, if you could just share a little bit about that, and how do people already know about it a little bit?
Have you ever been walking down a street and you feel somebody's behind you?
Yes.
And then you look around and somebody's behind you?
They're looking right at me.
Yeah. So this breaks down to the basic natural law that we are animals. Every animal has bioinstinctive field, and our culture has kind of stopped our understanding of it because it's forced us into the logical direction of thinking too much, and we've never been trained on how to interpret how our biofield is actually working. And you can see this everywhere in nature. You can just look in a flock of birds flying around, and I don't know if there's ever been any video of two birds flying into each other, ever.
Wow.
So they have this natural fields that they can feel the presence of each other around them, so they move in sync with each other that way. And human beings have this instinct as well built in us, no matter what. You can't stop feeling our instinct. It's always subconsciously active. And feelings can be broken down into what I call just our intuitive patterns, which is going to be your instinct, your emotions, and your empathy. And these are all going to have influence within the past, the present, and the future surroundings, basically. The past, present, and future have influence over the field as well. And so essentially, now when you do a center point technique in order to relax the system, would you want to be able to demonstrate this with us right now?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so now people watching here, what we're doing, Kevin's sitting, I'm standing, and this can be done sitting or standing. When you train more, you can do it laying down as well. And what we're going to do is first, let's find something that's kind of uncomfortable for you. And we call this a baseline because we want to be able to have a before and after comparison. We want to feel something that's maybe uncomfortable. And then we do the center point, and then we test that discomfort and see what's happened and what's changed. So you get an instant effect, and it can have a drastic improvement on massive pain, especially if that massive pain is connected to one of the mental processes that's happening. And this is quite cool because it can really be something you can do anywhere because it only takes around 3 breaths to complete one session. So it's around 10 seconds and you're done.
Okay.
So right now I'd have you test your neck for me. While you're sitting, it's easiest to just test your neck, looking left, looking right, looking up, down, bending to the side, and just find a movement that kind of may be uncomfortable.
I'm going to go in the left to right direction. Oh, down hurts as well. So left.
Okay, you can do both. So your left is stress restricted and down is a little bit tight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So now what you're going to do is the center point principle is all about going into the path of least resistance. It's going where your body wants to go. And in order to do that, what you're going to do is you're going to test, and we're going to look for a direction that feels the best for you. And now let's break this down into 6 different directions: front, left, and right, middle, left, and right, and back, left, and right. But first, let's find out what's easier to move into. Is it going to be left? Is it going to be right? And what you're going to do is you're going to just move an inch or 2 to the left as slow as you can with your eyes closed.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to move an inch to the right, an inch or 2 with your eyes closed, and see which feels easier.
Just my whole body,
Where is there,
right? Just my
What'd
whole
you say?
body. Just my whole body, correct?
just your whole body, like kind of like I'm doing now.
Okay.
Just how I'm.
Well, I can tell you, it feels better. It feels more comfortable to lean left.
Okay, so now you're going left. It feels easier. So now what we're going to do is we're going to break that. If you think of the field as a 360 degrees, we're going to go forward, then left at a 45-degree angle.
Okay.
And then you're going to go middle left, and then back and left. And you're going to see which one of those 3 directions feel most comfortable.
Forward left.
Okay, so
Yeah,
now forward left is going to be your position. And now what you can do when you're going, you can move forward left, and you can rotate your shoulders forward or back and see which feels easier. You can bend your head to the left or right and just go into what feels very comfortable. But right now, actually, if you straighten your head again and you just go forward left and you test your baseline in that position first.
Okay.
So go.
Oh, that's a lot better.
Okay, and looking down.
Yeah, a ton more range.
Okay, so now there's certain, you can kind of guide yourself into certain positions. You have a lot of freedom on which direction or which things you can move. And it can almost feel like you're slumping over in that front left position.
Well, I'll tell you, I just feel like I want to hang right here.
Yeah. And now just take 3 breaths. And And now slowly take that feeling you have and bring it back to your normal position.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm feeling flush all of a sudden.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that can happen because your body just went out of a sympathetic state, and something in your intuitive side, on your right side of your field, that was causing you to have excess tension, and you just went over into the left part of your field and you recalibrated it. You either more than likely you did a download upload.
Okay.
You uploaded information into the field and you downloaded information from the field into your system. And the fact that now when you look to the left and look down, you have less tension is proving that this had its effect. And people watching at home, what you're going to do is just do that slowly and just test it. And you test it over and over and over, and you're gonna have a result if you do this correctly. Just remember just to move slowly and have your eyes closed. And by moving slowly, you can interpret the field a lot better, and it will slow a lot of things down inside your system.
Yeah, yeah. Matt, you said a few things. The concept of the biofield. That may be new for a lot of people. I've been in the holistic healing world for a while. And some of these concepts have been around.
Yeah, it's definitely a new type of field, but there's a lot of biofield techniques out there. Mm-hmm. And in the book, Biofield Interpretation, I included all the mainstream techniques out there that are already utilizing the biofield work. And that's in the book. That's a free book you can find at centerpointmeditation.com. There's also another paid book that's like $4 or something or €3.69, and that will give you the basic principles of Centerpoint. Okay. And then we have further programs that we have teaching people like the the Centerpoint Meditation Workshop, which is an online program to learn this so you can use it how you want and wherever you want. And it gives you the entire biofield map over which each direction actually means, so you can interpret your mental activity at that point.
Great, great. Well, now, Matt, you also were sharing with me beforehand that there was another part of the technique you wanted to help everybody understand, because the breath is so important in balancing our stress response and our relaxation responses, and the breath is where, I sigh when I'm stressed, and something very important about it.
And there's been a big event that happened the last 2 years that has caused a huge disruption in people's breathing patterns.
Yeah.
It's been from fear, and it's been from actually, the virus that's been going around, and it has an effect on the respiratory system of the body. So I'm seeing a significant amount of people that, everybody I've seen has had COVID before. So I have people that don't have major issues, but I do have a lot of people that have long COVID, and they have a lot of restriction in their rib cage. So what we do is, when we do this, we can say fractally, which means like those Russian dolls, you have the big doll, and then you open it up, there's a smaller doll, you open it up, there's another doll, and you keep going. So if you use that same principle that we did on body parts, you can relax those body parts instantaneously as well. So if you want, we can do a quick demo over the ribcage Centerpoint therapeutic.
Well, Matt, I'm going to interrupt you. I think maybe the best thing to do right now is to help people know where they can start to watch some of this stuff. We're getting close to our time here, and I want to be mindful of that. I want to be mindful of the audience. And though there's a lot packed into what you have the ability to share, I know just alone, holding my breath and doing the center point, or breathing out and doing center point, has made an impact. But Matt has other methods within the technique that can help this.
And
briefly
what
share.
we'll be doing is, here in the next week or two, we'll be releasing some videos over how people can use center point meditation principles for rib releasing, so you can free up the congestion in the ribs and the tension in the ribs. We'll be doing one for headaches as well, especially headaches that are a lot of people had headaches that were like this on people. And then we'll be releasing some stuff for the lower back. And these videos will be open source for people to be able to use. And then on our website, on the centerpointmeditation.com website, you can go into the products. You can start with the Centerpoint Meditation Workshop. And then after you complete that, then we have the Centerpoint Therapeutics, which is the level 2. And then we also have a advanced training, which is integrating Centerpoint meditation into your life and business, so you can actually monetize from it, teaching people how to do it themselves.
Beautiful. Well, if you could share, we have your website, centerpointmeditation.com. Where else can people find you, Matt?
You can find me on, we just working with the social media stuff now. We haven't been so busy with it up until now, so we're just starting that. So you can find Centerpoint Meditation on Facebook. You can find it on Instagram, and I just started the TikTok account as well. So we're putting content out there on TikTok as well. And we got some big announcements. I'll be announcing, you and all the other Centerpoint practitioners will be announcing possibly tomorrow on TikTok. So then people will be able to find all you guys and all the other Centerpoint practitioners out there right now that are using Centerpoint to help people. So it just most of the stuff will be released on TikTok, and then Instagram, and then Facebook.
Beautiful. Well, Matt, thank you, Dr. Matt, thank you for joining us. And everyone at home, give this example a try. Go find it online. Learn how to process your own stressors in life, because each of us are unique, but the human experience, the human body has certain things that everyone responds to, and this has really added to my practice, what I do with my clients, and then what I do for my own self-care practices, so I can live my best life. Thank you for joining us. I'm Dr. Kevin Gyurina. This has been Dr. Matt Breske, and good luck unwinding that stress. See you next time.